Your dream business and your dream life both are so much more immediately accessible than you realize. Right now, you think it's the next thing. First, you want to make money, so you make money. Then you want to make money on your terms because you want to have location freedom, you want to have time freedom, so you do that. Then you start to nitpick with the business, start to find things that if only I could improve that point, if only I could fulfill that role, if only I could do the next thing, you do that. Then you start to think, what's the meaning of all this? Okay, I've gotten it to the next level and the next level and the next level and the next level. I've always thought that the next milestone was going to be it. What's the purpose? What's my purpose as a human being? Why do I exist if there's even a reason? You know, all of those things. And what's the point of my work? I've done all of this for what? So you go and try to figure that out. You try to reconnect with your passions. You try to reconnect with who you were as a child. You're scrambling to recover who you were, you know, your self-expression, because you don't know who you were. You don't remember who you were anymore. So you go and try to figure that out. And something tells you, hopefully at some point, something tells you, hey, stop here, Aliana. You know, you think that somehow you're going to achieve that feeling when you've actually figured out what the purpose is, or when you've figured out what is it that matters to you. But it's the same trap of thinking there is a place to get to. I think I was lucky in that I discovered this before I reached, like I got to a point where actually it finally landed for me, and I was like, okay, yes, like there's nowhere to get to. I feel lucky that I finally figured that out, because I know it would have been very easy to think, oh, once brands are alive, once I've discovered the purpose of my existence and the purpose of my work and everything, and I've integrated all parts of myself, and I've healed all parts of myself, and I brought back the inner child, and I've done all this work, and I've been fully self-expressed, then I can finally allow myself to be happy, you know, then I can finally feel X. And I feel blessed that somehow, somewhere along the way, I realized, oh, this is just another trap. There is no such thing. There is no purpose to fulfill. There's no, there's nothing. There's nothing at all, really. It just is. And you're just doing it. So, the dream business, the dream life that we think, you know, is, you think there is a gap, you think there is something to achieve, something to fix, something to resolve, that once you get to a certain level, a certain milestone, let's say a yearly revenue or income goal, you hit that, you're going to feel differently. Or if you design the business perfectly, you got rid of all the elements that you do not like, you got rid of the kind of clients that you don't want to work with, or the kind of work you don't want to do, or maybe you were selling physical products and now you want to do something digital where you don't have to worry about fulfillment. I don't know, all sorts of things that are bugging you with your business right now, and you think they're going to get that once they get better, everything is going to get better. There's none of that, you know. I mean, I realize that as I'm making this video, it may sound like a very depressing thought to share, but I feel wonderful on the inside, even though on the outside I look like there is no point. But I truly feel pretty damn good. I feel good. The realization that I had eventually is that the ideal business and the ideal life is not something to be done. It is a practice. It's not an achievement. It's a practice. The achievements happen and the results happen along the way, but it's the practice that creates the dream business and the dream life, and you can access it from anywhere you are. And the trick, ironically, is to be okay with it not being okay. So when you give up on trying to stop doing the work that you resist, you give up on trying to stop feeling fear when you're creating content, for example, or when you're pushing yourself to do work that feels uncomfortable. I'm talking about creative work especially, because there's a lot of resistance attached to that when we pick that up. When you stop I don't know, judging certain parts of the business or certain parts of yourself and feeling like they're not good enough, or like your numbers should be better, or like things should be a certain type of way. And you realize that everything is perfect, not because of some hippy dippy idea, but because everything, pardon me, everything is perfect because it's a reflection of what is. It's there for a reason. Your actions, I don't want to edit, so I'm not going to clear that out, excuse me. But the results that you're seeing are a direct reflection of what is. It just is what is, and this is what you get as a result of that, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's perfect. That's why it's perfect, because you are exactly where you need to be for a reason, because the actions you took, the situations you were in, a combination of your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, all of those things, plus how you respond to the outer reality, plus what happens that is quote unquote outside your control, all of these things combined make this result that you have right now. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's not what we like, but it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with it. The analogy I always like to use is having belly fat. There's nothing wrong with having belly fat, even though I want to have an 8-pack, but I don't have an 8-pack. Why? Because my body is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's storing the energy. It's storing it. Like if I eat more than I am supposed to, my body's purpose, or the way it's been designed by nature, is to preserve itself for life. It's optimizing for life. It's not optimizing for what I like, what my personal preference is. I can feel the dislike for something. It doesn't mean that I don't love it. To love it is to accept it as is. And so this whole game of once I get to X, I'm going to feel Y. Once I have that result, then I'm going to feel a certain type of way is an illusion, even when you're dealing with higher level aspirations like being driven by purpose or being driven by meaning or having excitement, fulfillment, doing good in the world. All of these ideals, all these ideas are still important. Don't get me wrong, they are still important. But the work is in the practice of what we have right in front of us. I don't know if this is making any sense. I think it is. I don't know. I'll wrap this up. So that was the video for today. It's a practice. It's not gonna feel that much different once you achieve the thing. Trust me, because the way you see yourself in a certain type of way, and it is what it is. And you have a certain type of behaviors, and they are what they are, and they're not going to magically change tomorrow when your conditions change. You think you're somehow going to become this different human being once you have the result. You're going to be the same exact person, and you'll drive yourself back in the same patterns over and over and over, because who you are, your practice of being in the present moment hasn't changed. And so even if you artificially somehow change the outer results, if you force change in the outside world where there's not an inner change that has created it organically, the inner world is going to win and bring you back until you face it. So that's essentially the point of the video. Practice it. You can be in your ideal business and your ideal life right now. You can practice feeling that way and making peace with what is and seeing the beauty and the wisdom in everything and accepting it as perfect because it's there for a reason, and understanding why is it there and what do I have to change internally for it to change. Or you can force it, doing all the outside strategies, and you'll be brought back on your face a few times until you get this lesson. So I'm saying this with all my love. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon.